There's so much to admire about what President Truman did. His vice presidency, his service to the American people as the president who got us out of World War II and saw us into the reconstruction of Europe. But there's also that fun part that remembers that he grew up in that same down-to-earth set of values where you remember that you're responsible for what you do, that your word is your bond, and that at the end of the day, it's the people at home that matter. And so it's great having that connection. I don't pass the buck, nor do I alibi out of any decision I make. But the other thing I love about it is on the back it says, I'm from Missouri. So while the world got to see the part that said, the buck stops here, President Truman was always reminding himself, I'm from Missouri, this is who I am. So it's really about being true to himself and owning the decisions he makes, hard decisions that any president's going to face. I think that as the common man president, he was very comfortable in his own skin. He wasn't pretending to be anything he wasn't. He wasn't standing on ceremony. He knew that the respect owed to the office was to the office and not to the individual, which actually helped him earn it even more as the man.
Yeah, that really caught the eye of most of all.
So I love the story behind the creation of the General Services Administration. During World War II, Harry Truman was serving in the Senate and heard stories about the construction of Fort Leonard Wood. He heard there were problems with the construction, there were problems with procurement. Got in his car, true Missouri, and was like, show me. Drove across the state, saw it, thought there's gotta be a better way of doing this. Went back to Washington, convinced the Senate to create a standing committee on investigations and give him the ability to go in and investigate how can we do a better job. Where are there the abuses? Where are we diverting funds that our warfighters need? When he became president, he turned to former President Hoover and in a bipartisan fashion asked him to start a commission, look at how we could do a better job as a country. And the result of the Hoover Commission was the recommendation to create a General Services Administration. I hope he'd be proud. I really do believe he'd be proud that not only is GSA still here, hopefully he'd be proud that it was a Missourian running it, but that it's grown on the foundation that he created. And as any foundation, we've built upon it, and we've gone in directions that I don't think he could have even imagined.